What's up, guys? Inspired Drive checking in with you again. Hope you're all doing well. I just wanted to check in today, give a little bit of an update. The MR2 Spider versus Skyline GTR video took a whole lot of time and a whole lot of effort. And as such, it kind of broke my previously established, rather comfortable upload schedule, which I was kind of having fun doing just every Saturday. Well, I kind of rationalized it and said that, hey, you know, if I turn out something a little extra, then missing the weekly won't be so bad. Yeah, that video was crazy. Absolutely crazy. And to all of you who have already viewed it, I'm seriously grateful for that. Kind of want to just get with you real quick and maybe talk about what's coming next. Of course, I want to keep reviewing cars that are, interesting. It's not particularly interesting, but my next upload might be our 2015 Subaru Forester. It's not even boosted. It's just a Forester, my dudes. I'll do what I can to make it extra spicy and extra interesting, but it's a grown-up kind of love for a car. It's that sense of reliability and trustworthiness and kind of what it's done for the family and where it's allowed us to be when we needed to be there, that kind of thing. On top of that, it actually handles pretty well given what it is, and I'll be sure to talk about that then. But that's why I'm doing a 2015 Forester, because hell, it's one of my cars, and frankly, I love the thing. As for Touge outings, if you guys liked the Christmas weekend cruise parts 1 and part 2, there will be more like that. I'm not 100% certain when. The group that I helped establish, we're a little bit sporadic, and we try to keep each other's personal lives and our own schedules and needs in mind when we schedule things like this. So it isn't going to be something that's just, every weekend. They're really good dudes, like really good dudes. And what's extra nice is I was fortunate enough to have my wife join the group because of how much she loves her Miata and how much she loves driving given the last year. Man, talk about something great there. I bought that car for her in late 2019, and the very first night she got to take it home, she took the rest of the day off of work, and she drove it probably 4 or 5 miles out at night without really knowing how to drive standard yet. That was the car she learned to drive standard on, but she was so excited with the car that she just went and drove the damn thing about 5 miles out. I was very impressed with her. So she has, fallen in love with the car. She joined the club, and she keeps up. She knows how to drive. Not saying names here, but our route for the Skyline GTR versus MR2 video, she's not, nor will she be ready to drive that the way that those guys drive that for a while. And that's nothing against her or her gender or any other such nonsense. What it is just there are still a lot of levels of driving with which she has yet to become comfortable. So we're not going to try that yet. Plus, we actually don't know what the reliability of the Miata really is. We haven't pushed it very much. That being said, this route is a ways out. I mentioned in the video that law enforcement turns a blind eye to this route. Well, there really isn't any law enforcement out in this area, and that's how they're able to turn a blind eye, because it is so far out. This is not in any city. I mean, it's mostly just 2-lane highways between towns is what it is. So it's It's very out of the way, and nobody's out there getting offended. Nobody's out there getting their feelings hurt. Nobody's getting their houses blown by, which is why it's a nice route, which is why we're comfortable doing what we're doing out there. You know, some of those guys I was talking about, they know that route like the back of their hands. The STI guy in general, he's a little bit older than the rest of us, but he has literally been running that particular route weekly and as often as daily for over 20 years in a variety of different types of fast cars. When I say the guy is fast, that's what I mean. On my downhill section, for example, I remember years ago, probably 2008 was the first time I ever ran that route, and I ran it in my RX-8 at the time. And every now and again, I'd run it again in various cars over the years, mostly just my RX-8. And at one point I had an S13 240SX that I ran it in. That particular section of route, that downhill section, I always had to run 3-4 times in the same night in order to even be a little bit confident. The part where we were leaving, it's a little more technical. That was always where I had a lot more fun. And that was the one where I was playing real serious keep up with the R32. The gentleman who drives that car, he's a real sport. He is a really good guy. You know, he probably wasn't going anywhere near 100% in his car if the video didn't tell that story already. And that's because it's like he says, I mean, it's an R32. She's an old girl, you know. You don't just go out there and beat the hell out of cars like that. I mean, A, it was expensive to import. It was expensive to buy. And if it breaks, they don't exactly have an RB26 dealership just down the road. That's not how things work here in good old Oklahoma. So he's got to take care of that poor old girl. But he drove very well. It was a real pleasure. That's basically what's going on. It's just a short update, guys. I kind of want to keep doing this. Kind of still having a good time. This car has opened so many doors for me that I thought were pretty much permanently closed. The people that I've met along the way have opened a whole bunch of doors for me that I thought were pretty permanently closed. You know, this whole thing we're doing right now with Inspired Drive, with the Toge group, with the love of driving again, it's a good place to be. It's good for me. I'm enjoying myself. I hope you guys are too. It means the world to me that y'all have stuck by and, you know, made yourselves available to me as viewers, found my content interesting enough that you wanted to watch it. It means the world to me. 2021 is going to be an interesting year. I've got some plans for the channel, and I'd like your opinion. I've never heard of this one being done, but I'm curious about it. Has anyone ever heard of, please leave your answers in the comments, has anyone ever heard of somebody live streaming a drive with 2 camera inputs? Basically running Twitch from your phone, like it is right here, and then also having a second input from the GoPro up on the windscreen. That'd be cool, right? Literally driving real time with my people, having conversations, you know, talking about things that matter to us, you know, really getting to actually hang out with you guys in a way. That'd be cool, right? I don't know if anyone's done that before. That's something I'm interested in trying, I think. All I know, man, I'm having a blast. I want to keep this ball rolling. And guys, I'm grateful to you for your input and your participation. Every sub, every view, every comment, you know, it tells me that I'm doing something right. You know, when you're down at 56 subscribers like I am today, changing the world, convincing people to go out into the world, have fun, be with people, creating a career out of that, going from 56 to something meaningful, to where people want to hear what you have to say, and getting to a point where you change the way people think about driving, or about being introverted and stuck at home. Going from this point to that point where we're changing minds, it seems impossible. It seems so far away. I have to imagine that every influencer out there who has made themselves a name and who has made something, a career out of it, had to have felt similarly at some point. When I was very young, from 18 to 21, I really understood the go get 'em, self-positivity, hustle movement. And don't get me wrong, there's plenty of, it's valid, it's good, it's a very healthy way to live. But I'll tell you, I went and I worked. I went and I traveled for a little bit, and then I stopped effing off, and I went and I worked, and I started a career that I woke up one day and realized that I hated, especially after being subject to layoffs. And 34 is a hell of a time to realize that you're not done with your dreams and you're not giving up yet. 34 is a weird time to do that. But I have to believe, right? Because I either put the work in and believe enough to do it and to keep doing it, or it absolutely doesn't happen. You know? That's why this all matters so much to me, because every single subscription is somebody out there saying, no dude, stick with it. Stick with it because it's not too late. It's not over yet. You're not down forever. So, that's what it means to me, guys, and I'm really very, very grateful for it. I'm going to keep on putting out good stuff. Like I said, next is probably going to be the Forester, and then I've spoken with several people in my group, and we may be able to get probably a ride-along at best, because I can't fit in the driver's seat of the Cappuccino for a review. I think that'd be cool. We might be able to get the R32 review of that. Doug's FC with the SR20 VET swap. He's very particular about that, and I don't blame him. He's got a lot of money and a lot of personal blood, sweat, and tears in the swap of that motor, and it makes a lot of power. Make no mistake, that car is a 350 wheel horsepower on a loaded dyno car, meaning it's not your dyno jet that makes all the Mustang boys feel proud and happy. Oh yeah, boy, I got 425 out of 450 from the factory. Yeah, boy. No. This is the one that takes your 450 factory horsepower and tells you that you've got 335 at the wheels and you need to do some work because you're really not that fast. It's the Heartbreaker dyno. If you haven't heard of them, it's a loaded dyno, and they're calibrated to mimic the actual road. So if you're making 350 on a loaded dyno, it means significantly more than making 350 on a little dyno jet or Mustang dyno. Just saying. All that to say, his car is legit. He's very picky about letting people drive it, but we may be able to get there. And yeah, those are just some of my upcoming ideas. If I come up with anything else, I'll be certain to put it out there for you guys. But in the meantime, hey, y'all stay safe. Please get out there and build something of your own. Do this car thing with some people. Or, I mean, if you've got another hobby that is more tangible and more attainable for you, do that. But get some people involved. I said it in the last video and I still mean it. There are people out there who are hurting, who are lonely, who are isolated, who desperately need some people to come along. Put a group together for them. Include them. Make friends with them. And give them something to do. There are people out there who need that right now. You know, if we're the only people who recognize that need, then we've got a job to do. So, guys, thank you again. It's been a pleasure. I will see you next time. Y'all be safe. Drive inspired.